the things you say and do tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you.
Happy holidays, everybody!
Fuck you!
I haven't had a voice for like 4 days, so I'm kind
And that is why I hate you.
I lost my voice like 3 or 4 times over the last 2 weeks, and I don't know what. Yesterday I literally sounded like this. Sounded like an old.
Well, I just got over having COVID, so
you had the vid.
Yeah,
I'm convinced I have walking pneumonia because I have something in my chest and I wheeze when I talk, breathe. Well, I brain fog too. Did you know?
Yeah. When I chew on air, as I eat oxygen. No, yeah. My son was sick, and I was taking care of him. He had an ear infection, and then as soon as he started feeling better, I got sick. And I tried to just I was falling asleep sitting at tables. I was coughing up a lung, waking myself up in the middle of the night coughing. And then my wife got sick. And then I want to say 4 days passed between that time. My wife got sick. She went to the doctor. And that same day they said I'm positive for COVID. I lost my sense of taste and smell, which never happened to me the first time I got it.
Oh, did you get it back yet?
Oh no, it's back. I'm way over it. It's been a week since.
I always thought that
I was sick for 2 weeks, lingered, though. So
I thought the tasting lingered though.
And
I was too, and we didn't.
And I didn't fully lose it.
I mean, because my son was in the hospital with pneumonia, and then everybody's been sick in my house too. Since it's just every fucking winter, without fail. It's just a constant rotation of sickness. I was reading something last night that was saying the reason was a theory. The reason we get so sick during the winter months is because our body is still in not Paleolithic, but old human type mode where we were like, it's the winter, things are scarce, we got to conserve body energy so our body doesn't waste as much effort on trying to heal us as it does in the summer, where it's like, oh, times are good, we can find food, we don't have to conserve energy anymore, so we'll fight infection more readily. I don't know why that is. I mean, the kids go back to school and they bring home everything, so it's
that's what I'm saying. They're little living petri dishes, so
it's fun. It's like a science experiment in your house.
I got super sick and still had to take care of my kids who were sick. And then my wife got sick, and so I had to take care of my wife and my kids while we were sick.
Yeah, you're a good dad.
But cool enough, my wife and I got to actually hang out, which is something we never get to do.
That's true.
So being sick was kind of had a silver lining,
Catalyst.
Which was the kids are fine. They don't have any symptoms. They've been asymptomatic. They're not they are. There's nothing for them. The doctor said that they can go to school, and just we are sick. And so her and I just stayed home and played games and didn't get anything done until we both were stopped feeling like we were dead.
It's kind of sweet. You laid in bed and not able to move and just put on some TV. Just relax. Okay, actually, I don't think I asked your opinion on this. Right after when my son got out of the hospital, they said he could go back the next day to school. Did we discuss this?
You did not tell me about that.
All right, they said he can go back to school next day, and then I kept him home the next day because he had to have his follow-up appointment with the pediatrician anyway. So I was like, I'll give him a buffer day, and then he went back the following day, and so many people were yelling at us. They're like, what do you mean you're sending him back? What are you, crazy? You got to keep him home all week. Why would you send him back to school? And we were both like, because all the doctors with MD after the name said we can.
Degrees and
the people that study this. Paid. They were like, every single one of them, all 20 of them were like, oh yeah, he can go back to school. I was like, and I don't know why I wouldn't do that if that's what they said. Anyway, it was so irritating. Like
What's that going?
No, my wife got into a legit fight with one of her friends over it because she was giving her a hard time about it. Like, you need to keep them home all week. You can't send them right back into that school with the petri dish, all those germs. And like
that helps with his fucking antibodies.
Dude, I don't know.
Like, what the fuck are you serious? One thing I realized is, I thank the internet for this. It's calloused me into giving a shit about everyone else's opinions. like, and I'm not talking about like for me, like my self-consciousness. That's still going to be a thing. But when it comes to like taking care of my kids specifically, everybody has something to say if they have experience or not.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
You're just giving an answer based on your feelings. Maybe
we do
you're giving an answer purely based on your parent. Maybe no, we did parental best friends.
We did parental best friends. Okay, you're right. But yeah, you're right. It's you're just purely
you
on
feel
your
uncomfortable. Yeah, right. You feel uncomfortable. You don't have you're not giving an expert opinion. You're just giving an opinion. So I heard it. I jotted it down. Now go fuck yourself. Like that's it.
As it was about to come out of my mouth, I was about to say like, yeah, but that's so silly and stupid. I was like, oh wait, that's like that's everybody all the time, always.
Yeah, everybody.
It's not rare,
everybody.
But like to have like legit arguments over it, like, and it wasn't just it was quite a few people who couldn't believe it. I'm like, the doctors all said he could go back. He wants to go back to school, and he already missed time. Like,
but what are you doing? Are you trusting doctors? Doctors are paid by Big Pharma to release kids back into school to keep sickness going. Don't you know that?
I don't know. Whatever. It was such a load of bullshit. It's very irritating. It's just parents in general. I went, I started picking. I told you a while ago I've been picking the kids up from school, right? I started picking them up. I went to pick up the kids the other day, and when you go to pick up the kids, I don't know how it is at yours because you go to your kids go to the other elementary school in the district. At ours, they have you either line up at the lobby or at the library based on last name. So like half the kids go to the lobby, half the kids go to the library to get signed out at the end of the day. And I went up to the library because that's where I'm supposed to go, and there was nobody waiting there on that side. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I start walking up and I look, and all the parents are inside the library already, and it was cold. It was like 20 degrees that day.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, sweet. So one of the parents opens the door for me, and I go in. I'm like, what's going on? Everybody's kind of like, we don't know. We don't know if the security guard let the first people in, or if like a parent snuck in, or if they forgot to lock the door.
And just everybody just kept letting the person behind them in.
Well, here, so we're all happy and warm, and like and the next parent comes in, and then it's full. Like there's too many people.
Yeah.
So then there's some parents that come and they realize it's full, so they're just kind of waiting outside. And then this one parent comes up and just fucking opens the door and just leaves it open. So all the cold air is coming in, and all this warm parents are now freezing cold. And they're just standing there holding the door. They're not inside or outside. They're just holding the door open. I know. I didn't quite turn around and say thanks, asshole. I think I said I just said something along the lines of, well, it was nice to be warm for a little while, or something like that. I was so mad. It's like, what are you doing, you fucking moron? What is wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with people?
Just because it's you, and I love your company. Not being sick, I haven't spoken to you really much, but last time when we were trying to record an episode, I called Matt's phone.
Yeah.
And since our friendship, I have never gotten your voicemail.
What is my voicemail right now?
It is the most you I've like. I started. I was pissed off that you didn't answer your phone, but I was amused by your voicemail. It said, "Hey, you reached Matt. Leave a message, but just know that this could have been in a text."
Oh yeah!
Like, what a dickhead!
I think I stole that from somewhere. I think I stole that from somewhere, but yeah, I forgot I changed it to that. That was a while ago. I don't.
My wife and I had a really good laugh at that. Like I had to call it again. I didn't. I just kind of tried to remember it. But I was just like, like you cannot not be you. You just can't help yourself.
Well, I mean, in fairness, like, don't call me. I hate when people call me. I told you to. That's why you did.
I
But
only called you. I hate calling people. So I
I hate
only
calling
called you
people.
because it was like I texted, then I texted again. I was like, well, fuck. Now I have to get his attention, especially if he's asleep.
Yeah, I was out. I was out cold. I was so sick last week. I was out cold a couple days, and I was out cold. Um, it just like I was when I was standing in the library waiting for my child.
Well, whenever I think of scenarios like that, I literally go like, what would Matthew do?
Yeah, I mean,
And I would
most
just
of
like
the
play a
time.
scenario in my head of the way you would act in in a situation.
I play it very. It ranges from total dick to passive aggressive dick. Like that's my range. I usually do
Yeah,
one of the it's somewhere in between on that scale.
those two minor extremes.
I kind of never shut up. Like I never just don't say anything. I always have something to say or something to do. Um, you know
So
what?
you're
Like
saying your level of tact is how pissed off do I want the recipient to be?
yes, yes. Oh my god, dude! I was driving home yesterday down a road that's 30, doing 30, and I had somebody tailgating me that I have never had somebody this close to my car. It,
Oh my
it must
god.
have been next to the bumper. So of course I slowed down more.
No,
I
I do
slowed
that
down
too.
to like 15 because I'm like if you're gonna hit me, I don't want it to be at a
You're
full
you're going
speed.
to be at fault. I'm going to make sure
Yeah.
you're at fault.
Well, I slowed down because I'm like at least if they hit me as I don't know why they were because I was going the speed limit and
Yeah,
it's actually a highly policed road. Like everybody knows on that road, don't go over the speed limit or you're going to get pulled over. It's like a rule.
yeah,
And it's just like and then they like, drove past me once we got to an intersection where they could turn and like went super fast and it was dark and I was just mad because I couldn't do anything. I wanted to open my window and yell at them or something. But anyway, uh yeah, very frustrating, very, very irritating, very annoying. Speaking of school district stuff, did you see that there was the stabbing at the middle school by us? Not our school
yes.
district, but
I
did you see
I
that?
went to that middle school. I used to go to
I
that middle
know.
school.
I know.
That is
That is
for
something.
me like I won't say it's terrifying because I can't. As long as it didn't happen to my kids, I'm sorry. Kids or the kids I know, I
Right, right.
don't feel that type of feeling. I'm more so
It's
sad that it even happened to begin with.
yeah, it was a 13-year-old boy
Yep.
stabbed another kid or two, but there's so much like I keep hearing different nuance to the story like the kid was being bullied by the other kids and he brought the
Mm-hmm.
knife to school to essentially
And
defend himself.
the skit. Well,
Um
the thing is, like, the story. We'll never probably know the
no.
actual story.
No, because that
But
that was just one story. I also heard he just
yeah,
randomly attacked people.
because
So,
if it's like the track record of how the schools in our districts run, they didn't do anything when the problem was brought up.
no.
And
That
the
was
reason
that
why I
was
say
that
that, because when my daughter gets picked on, nobody does anything. When my
yep.
nieces and nephews were picked on, nothing was done. And when we were
No,
in
you're
school,
right.
I'm quite sure when a lot of bullying happened, nothing was fucking done.
I mean, I was relentlessly bullied and nothing was ever fucking done. So,
Yeah. And so,
in fact, a lot
like,
of times I remember we called them. I was talking about my kids about this. I don't know what they call them now. We called them monitors when I was a
yeah, hall
kid.
monitors.
Like,
And then
yeah,
they became
they were
actual
called
police at
monitors.
some point.
Yeah. Well, I think they call like. I think my daughter was like, "You mean aides?" And I was like, the people that are like around in the lunchroom and stuff to make sure you don't
Yeah.
get,
Oh,
nobody
yeah, they
gets
are
into
called
trouble.
aides now.
Yeah. Like, well,
Because my
anyway,
daughter called them aides.
I seem to recall monitors like laughing when I was getting picked on, and
Really.
like just kind of being like a little fucking kid getting gum put in his
Um,
hair, little dickhead.
it in high school, um, and this is kind of comically messed up. I was a trench coat kid because my grandfather gave me his military trench coat, and I thought it was
Oh, I
cool,
was
even though
too.
I looked like a complete dork.
I
And
I bought a trench coat because I loved the X Files and I thought they looked really cool.
yeah, well, I used to get picked on because of
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
And it was weird. It was a weird kind of feedback loop because I knew I was getting picked on for the trench coat, but the trench coat made me feel secure.
Dude,
So
you
I would
probably
still
look
wear
cool
it.
as
It was
fuck,
weird.
dude. They were just jealous. They were just jealous.
But there's one kid who I don't think was cool. He looked like a geek and he acted like one, but he would make fun of me around everyone else at
Yeah.
lunch, and I had to sit at that table because it's the only table. I sat there first. That was like my area now.
Right.
And
I
they
get it.
kind of
Yep.
huddled around, and I knew some of them, and they would just relentlessly make fun of me. I would
Yeah.
tell the monitors, they would talk to him, and that was it. And it got to a point where I had enough, and he kept making fun of me, and I hit him. And of course,
Right.
I was the one to get in trouble because I took
Sure.
it to a physical place.
Well, words are violence now, so
But
I don't know how they handle it
I
in
know, right?
school.
But I was like, I was getting made fun of for for 3/4 of the majority of the school year, and
And
just
no one
put
did
up with
shit.
it,
And no one did shit. And
and nobody did anything,
you finally took it in your own hands, and then you get in trouble. Yeah,
and
I don't
I
know.
got in trouble.
I don't know what happened with this kid. Like, part of me, I mean, I know he got arrested, and then they were like,
Well,
he was
he
getting
should have. He
vilified in
stabbed
the local.
somebody,
Yeah, they were.
regardless.
Oh yeah, no, agreed. He was getting vilified in local news and on local social media and stuff, and
Hmm.
it's hard to, like you said, no, we're never gonna know. But just the idea of it, it's just like fuck. It's like
I'm I'm also going to
13-year-old kid.
clarify. I'm also going to clarify. I deserve to get in trouble for hitting the kid. Before like somebody online goes, see you complaining, but no, I'm not complaining that I got in trouble. What I'm saying is it was all preventative.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if
Well, with this,
bullying
go
was
ahead.
involved with this kid, it was preventative,
Not
and nobody
only
did anything.
not only the bullying, but allegedly, again, there was a news article out that a father of another kid that this kid threatened with a knife called the school and told them,
And told them,
uh, and said, "Hey, my kid was threatened with a knife," and somehow his kid got suspended. Which it sounds weird, but I don't know. But this father claims he warned the school about it. I don't know. Like, school's hard now. I get it. I get how hard they are to run and how sensitive things have to be, and
yeah,
how the teachers and the administrators can't exactly do what like any normal human being would want to do. Like, just shake the kid and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
fuck is
They
wrong
can't do
with
any
you,
of that.
right?
They can't do any of that shit now.
We are
They
far
have-
away from nuns and rulers at this point. Like,
I know. It's crazy to think that our parents' generation, which is not all that long ago, maybe 50 years ago. I mean, a lot has changed in 50 years, obviously, but like, yeah, a nun, could scold a kid screaming at him, slap him with a ruler, knock
yep.
him around. And like, I don't know.
But
and now it's like
the
a complete opposite,
the fact that we're speaking about this, I watched this video, I want to say earlier last week, about Sue Klebold doing a TED Talk. Now, Sue Klebold is the mother of one of the shooters in Columbine, and she was doing like
Okay.
TED Talk. I never
Oh,
watched
right.
it. I don't really
Klebold.
like TED Talks to be any.
I was
in
just gonna
general.
try to remember the kid's name, and I was like, why? Okay, go ahead.
There's Dylan and another kid. I don't remember their
whatever.
names.
Fuck both
I don't
of them,
remember the
so.
names of mass killers.
Yeah.
Generally I don't. But Sue's doing a TED Talk, I guess, talking about like, how like signs that you will see, but also dealing with the grief of, being the parent of a mass shooter or something like
Yeah.
that. And so I watched this video from this guy, Timmy 2 Cents, who did this comprehensive video, or at least at the time I thought it was very comprehensive. YouTube, for the first time ever, algorithmically did a very good thing, and they brought up another video of this one guy going by Morby, going, excuse me, most of the shit that you put in your video was bullshit. And this dude made Timmy sound like a guy who had an issue with his mother, and then took all and like projected that all onto Sue Klebold.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, things she said, he twisted information. And this guy Morby came up with his receipts. So
did a nice job. Yeah, you'll have to send it to me.
Yeah.
I love videos.
I'm gonna
like
definitely send you. I'm gonna send you both videos.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Timmy, I guess, didn't like the idea that Morby was flat out calling him a liar. He flat out called this dude a liar.
Mm-hmm.
So then they did a live stream on Timmy's channel on YouTube.
Together?
Timmy Yeah, they did a live stream where they were debating. They both did a pretty shit job. They both just kind of argued over each other. And then
Okay,
Timmy was trying to
I was just saying good for them for
yeah, Timmy was trying to
just
discredit
good for them for doing
Morby
it.
for not reading the book. But I believe Morby read the book, but it wasn't in recent memory.
Sure. Okay.
And Morby probably should have properly researched again before he went into this debate, so he sounded better. But
you would think
Timmy,
that you would. Yeah.
Timmy never defended any of his points. Kept making the same points over and over, but ignoring what Morby's points were, and then rage quit. And one thing that was bothering the shit out of me. Oh, dude, this bothered shit out of me. He goes, I'm going to leave if you don't let me finish. But anytime Morby started talking, he would get 3 words in and then get cut off by Timmy. I was like, so you're saying, let me talk, and then ignoring the guy.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that's the way debates aren't. There's one podcast I listen to. It's called Monk Debates. I think I might have mentioned it before, which I love because they don't do that. They have very good moderation. They basically take their time to speak, and then the other person rebuts, and then they go back and forth. But I mean, did you watch any of the Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis debate, or any of the
No,
the last Republican debate? That's all it is.
I have not had. Yeah, I haven't had a stomach for it.
But that's all it is. It's just them. I watched the last Republican debate, and I watched not the whole thing, but good amount of the Newsom and DeSantis debate, and that's all it is. It's just them yelling over each other. And I don't know what the deal is with these moderators they pick. I don't know why they can't
just let them go.
Yeah,
it's a fucking circus. They just let them go.
Why can't they properly moderate a debate? It's not hard. Cut the fucking mics. Hey, it's your time's over. Or just have it set your mic's gonna cut off.
Or if you're not sticking to topic. If you're not sticking to topic.
See, I don't know why these moderators are so bad at their jobs.
That people that debate, I understand that you're trying to rebut or respond to somebody saying something, and you don't want to forget what you were trying to say. That's why you have a little notepad and you write yourself a note that they said this thing.
Sure, yeah, makes sense. Easy,
because
simple.
You're only half listening to what the other person's saying, regardless, anyway.
Yeah, the other half is thinking and
so
processing.
You write this guy said, "My penis is made of granite." It is not, and that will be your rebuttal for when it's your turn to speak.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know why, and it's not a new thing. I mean, I remember the 2016 debates and 2020 debates, and even the Obama era debates. It's the same thing. They just nobody's ever seen. I feel like it hasn't been right since maybe the Reagan era. I think that was probably the last time I remember debates. Not that I remember them then, but I've watched the debates and
vaguely remember as a child watching I think Clinton and Bush debate.
Yeah.
Bush Senior.
Sure. Yep.
And I remember it being watchable even as a kid. It was structured and made sense.
I know they're all trying to get their talking points, and I think they want to show I don't know, not strength necessarily, but they want to show well, I'm not weak. I'm not gonna dominance. I'm not gonna pause and wait for you to talk. But it's nothing gets accomplished then. You just talk over each other.
And that's extremely tiring. And one thing I do like, so after the debate, because I was on Morby went on Twitch after, and I actually followed him towards Twitch because I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched the midway to the end when Timmy rage quit and then privated the live stream so no one could see it.
Ugh.
So then Morby went on Twitch and he was just and he was actually apologetic because he was I did really bad. I really did really bad. And he knew it. And he was being very honest about it. Then he uploaded the live stream. It was not because I think I won, but because I want people to see us both kind of at our worst.
Right.
But I want to have integrity because integrity is literally the whole reason why I made my video.
Sure.
And Timmy made a video response, which mind you, he did the I like calling him Timmy because I feel like Timmy is such it is in his name. It's Timmy 2 Cents. But Timmy is such a it sounds demeaning to me to call an adult Timmy.
Yeah, it's you're never gonna call a grown person Timmy and take them seriously.
Yeah, and he's
It's not
acting
gonna
like a
happen.
fucking child, so that's why I'm calling him that. He made a
Yeah.
rebuttal video, which he took down again because it was bad.
Now, what was at the crux of their debate, though? Just
That was the thing. It was
I know you
all
said it was
because Morby was trying to point out like his malicious lying about Sue Klebold
okay. So
and
it wasn't
how
any one
she's a
particular.
narcissist, like how she's a narcissist that created a mass shooter. That's
Okay.
what Timmy's whole deal was.
Okay.
Sue Klebold's a narcissist because she knew these things that could have prevented it, didn't do it. She worked in mental health, which Timmy says
Oh,
she
did
worked in
she? I
mental
didn't know
health.
that.
She was a fucking art therapist.
Oh well, fuck that. Yeah, no.
So my sister, who doesn't have
Art
any kind
therapist
of
is not the
degree,
same thing.
did art therapy
Yeah,
taught art therapy. Doesn't
not the
make her
same
a fucking psychologist,
No,
or
not
psychiatrist
even
or any
close.
of that.
It's
But he and
not
then
even close.
there was one argument. It was driving me fucking nuts between these two, and it's funny to me. But he was like, "Well, you said that Timmy." Morby said, "Timmy, so you said that Sue Klebold said he kicked, I think it was Ryan or whatever his name is, out of the house, Dylan or whatever, out of the house, and she never said that." And he goes, "No." Timmy responds, "No, I said that because that's what the therapist report said." It's like,
Okay.
but you're insinuating that she said that, but she claims that she didn't. Well, she changed her mind. No, you're reading a report from someone who's their opinion
Right.
of what
Yeah.
this woman said. It's
It's
like,
a hearsay.
well, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. It is hearsay. But he goes, well, if I go to a doctor, and I read the doctor's notes, I'm going by that doctor's notes that this is what that person said. Like, no, that is the doctor's diagnosis. The person who's sick might say, I have frogs crawling out of my fucking throat. But the
Yeah.
doctor didn't see a fucking frog. So it's like, well,
Right.
no, they just have a sore throat. It's like, no, when this person goes home, frogs crawl out of my fucking throat. Well, I didn't see a frog, so my diagnosis is that you have a sore throat.
It's very simple. You're talking about the source of information versus somebody's understanding of that information.
It's still exactly.
It's not the same thing.
So unless it's on audio or on video that this person said it, you're
Right.
reading a document of what somebody said, and you're hoping that that person is telling the truth, or is not giving their opinion, or didn't misinterpret it. Yeah,
exactly.
Or didn't misinterpret it. You're still basing it off that. And you, as a documentarian trying to give informative information, should keep more neutral and display that instead of telling that. And for me, it was a unique experience because I went through the entire emotional gamut of believing Timmy at his word, because I mean it's an informational like documentary style essay, so I'm just going to take him at his word. I don't really have a personal interest in the Columbine shooting.
Of course,
it was just information that I thought would be interesting.
I did have one personal interest. The school made me stop wearing my trench coat after that, and I was very mad because I was like, it's not my fault that these
right?
couple assholes shot up school in trench coats, and now I'm not allowed to wear mine. It's not fair. But anyway.
But yeah, so I didn't have a personal interest, but I thought it would be interesting to inform myself. I'm putting information in my brain.
Yeah, of course.
And then
this is something we do. We both like to do. We like ingesting information.
And then the next day, have somebody pointing out all the holes. So now I still have that fresh in my head. So now I'm seeing in real time for myself, going, "Oh shit! Holy shit!"
And changing your opinion based on new information. Wow, what a novel idea.
And like, this guy didn't give this information. I just took it at face value. But then this guy is giving information, and I wouldn't take it at face value because it just contradicts, but he literally shows information.
Right.
And just like, wow. And then to watch how Timmy dealt with it, wow, you are a piece of shit. Because you couldn't even, like, if you were sincere, you wouldn't have handled it the way you did. Well, I don't like people calling me a liar. Well, maybe you shouldn't be a liar. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry. Oh, making
So,
me laugh.
and which led me towards, have you heard of the Completionist?
No, I don't think so.
He's a video game like YouTuber, and
Okay,
he's like a
I get the
five foot
idea.
three video game YouTuber, long
And
beard,
completes games.
and
I'm assuming
no,
100%
no,
games.
I only call him 5'3" because I'm 5'6", and I saw him at a
Dude,
video game convention.
you're allowed to call him 5'3". That
No,
he
no, no,
might be, if he's 5'3", he's 5'3". You're
dude,
not
I
allowed.
never in my
What are you
life.
short shaming him?
I,
Are
well,
you
here's
trying
the
to
thing.
defend yourself?
Well, they call him a dwarf, like not a dwarf as in like a little person, but an actual like mountain dwarf,
Well,
like
if he is, he
fantasy dwarf.
is. If he is, he
He,
is.
dude, he is, dude. Like
Okay, so
when I
why
saw him
are you
I saw
defending
him at a
yourself?
game convention. Well, no, because I saw him at
You're
a game
allowed to
convention. And
call
I've
him
never in
something
my
he's not.
life, motherfucker, listen. I never in my life met somebody and went, "Wow, you're small." Because being a small person, I never get that. I never get to do that.
I get it.
So when I saw him, because he looks like a taller guy, he looks like he might be like 5'8" to 6 foot. But then when you see him, you're like 5 foot even. Your beard is mostly your height. Like, dude is really short. But anyway,
Yeah.
so he has this fund called Open Hand, this charity. And the charity is really kind of a middleman between actual like charity places like
Let me guess. Is it a charity about keeping women in check? Open hand.
close.
Oh, domestic,
Close. It's
domestic
about dementia.
abuse jokes.
Yeah. No, it's about no, well, it's dementia research.
Okay.
Because his mother died of dementia. I'm only bringing that up just so everybody knows because this man uses his dead mother as a fucking shield.
Right.
All the fucking time. And it's to the point that I like screamed at my phone like, "Bro, I don't give a shit. Other people's mothers have died due to dementia. Plenty of people's family members have died of dementia. I don't fucking care about your mom anymore. I'm sorry." Reason why I brought that up. Because, and mind you, does this sound right to you? So I have a foundation. People have donated to it. I raised around $600,000.
Okay.
Almost 10 years pass, and some random people go, "Hey, we found this $600,000 hasn't gone anywhere." Now, within that 10-year span, I've been saying we've been working with these. I've been throwing more charities and saying, "Well, we've been working with this charity and this hospital and these people, just trying to make sure to keep my mother's name alive." Blah, 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 blah. But then that $600,000 was just sitting there for 10 years. Does that sound right to you in any universe?
Not really, no.
Like, even if, and mind you, even in the beginning, because my sister was really hurt by this. She was really upset that this happened.
That's so bizarre because, like, typically it would be like, it would be they found out that the $600,000 did go towards what he said it was going to. Not that it's just still sitting there.
It's just still sitting there, right? So I was just like, okay. Weird. So it just sitting there, the bizarre nature of that made me go, it's negligence. It's criminal negligence, but it's negligence.
Yeah.
That's what I originally felt.
That would be my first instinct too.
Yeah. And as time was going on, like, he got called out, people said shit. I was like, I don't think he's evil. I think he's stupid and probably and irresponsible. But I don't think he's evil. And then, more people are like saying, well, they committed charity fraud because he lied, which I didn't know this was a thing. If you lie about charity fraud, part of that is saying that you donated to certain charities. Just saying that.
Right.
And then not doing that is charity fraud. Which logically makes sense, but I never thought about that.
Right, no.
Because just being in talks with somebody, if I said I'm in talks with this place, that's different than saying we are working with this place.
Right.
So, and mind you, he's been using that money from the Open Hand Foundation, not money, but using the fact that they donated with that Open Hand Foundation to push another charity by saying he donated that money. Weird. So, and mind you, he does this charity with his family. So he finally replies after some time, after being called out, changing his story multiple times. And he says, I'm sorry that whatever we said might have misled you, which instantly is, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yes,
And
that's exactly what that is. Yes.
And then he goes, and to the people threatening my family, and I'm not gonna take this lying down. I'm done bowing down to selfish intent. And it's like, bro, first of all, saying that you're gonna sue the people who called you out is not a good look.
No.
You have no reason to be angry because all they did was say, hey, people, this is how you report to the IRS. Just so we know, being audited by the IRS is not a punishment. It is literally an accountability thing.
It's not supposed to be. Yeah, correct.
It is not no, we see it as a bad thing because the IRS is an evil company.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it at times was used as a punishment. Like, we're going to have you audited because you did X, Y, and Z. But in general,
guess what happens? But if nothing wrong was going on, guess what would happen? It would be a minor inconvenience.
That's true.
Because you would have to get all your paperwork and shit together.
I'm getting a little conspiracy theory-ish there, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. But no, it really, it's just an inconvenience. So if the people who called him out were saying to make the IRS do their job and to minorly inconvenience this thing because we want to know if what he's saying is true, have him audited. That is what they are fucking saying. And he's saying they're threatening my family and my livelihood. Okay, motherfucker. One, if you don't want to feel like your family's going to be attacked, don't go into criminal business with your fucking family. That would change all of that. And it would just be your hairy ass being attacked. It would just be you. But, okay, fine. Here's my conspiracy theory with the whole Jared the Completionist thing. Somebody in his family who was working in that thing was probably into some dirty fucking work. He found out, and being kind of bothered by the fact that he couldn't do, like, he didn't want to, like, turn on his family, but he didn't want to call anybody out, and it makes him look bad because he cares way more about the way he looks than anything like that, because the only defense any of the people who are defending him, who are even his friends or people who don't know him, are saying, well, he's such a nice guy, which is not a fucking defense. Because, I'm sorry, even Dave Chappelle pulled this fucking out on his fucking show. He made up a superhero who says, well, he has superpowers, but his power is he gets his superpowers by molesting people. If you molest somebody, he can save a building full of burning people. And then he brought up Bill Cosby, because despite what anybody says, Bill Cosby fucking did terrible fucking things, but he also gave a bunch of charity to help a bunch of people who needed the money. I'm sorry, Jared could be a nice guy. He might have donated the money after getting caught, but I'm sorry, he might be a nice guy, but he's still a fucking crook.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Be it on purpose or not.
No, agreed. You can't. Two things can be true at once.
Exactly.
You just made a great, one was fictional, but you made two great points. There are two great examples of that. This is true.
Those are examples. But yeah, just like, and I don't understand, like, we've been on the internet for so long. We, as human beings, have lived so long. Our brains have grown so large in comparison to the way we started. How do we not understand? The fact that gender cannot be a binary means that any situation cannot be a binary. If we can understand gender is not a binary, if we can understand that, then how the fuck can't we understand that somebody can be a really nice person and a fucking asshole? I understood that shit in the fucking game Fable. In the Fable 2, you can be a hero or a villain or corrupt or pure. That's fucking 4 things. I was a good guy, but I was corrupt as shit. I was an evil landlord.
Well, how many of the fucking billionaires and millionaires out there in the world are horrible people, but still donate a bunch of money, you know? Like,
it doesn't matter the reason why they did it.
Right, I was just gonna say they may be doing it for nefarious reasons, but they're still donating a bunch of money that's helping people. Yeah, I don't know why that's I don't know why dude, what my whole issue with everything nowadays is that everything nobody seems to understand that things aren't always binary. There's always shades of gray. There just is. There just always
it just is.
In
Always.
every fucking situation, nothing is black and white. And I don't know why we try to compartmentalize everything into, a binary ideology on anything.
Yeah.
It's just
like we don't take it by situation. I know I'm gonna see it again, but if one more time I'm scrolling Instagram and I see a fight between a man and a woman, and if one asshole pops up and goes, "If the roles were reversed," I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Why is this
you just take the situation individually? Because it's always that one asshole, and it's the same fucking thing. It is the same thing over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's all the red pill guy stuff we talked about before, which I'm gonna link that video I sent you. What was the guy's name again? Darby?
Morby. Wait, the guy I was talking about?
No, the video I sent you about the whatever podcast, which was
bad memory. I mean, I can look it up real quick.
Jarvis, something like that.
Oh, Jarvis Johnson. Jarvis Johnson. Yeah, I mean, I love Jarvis Johnson.
Well, that video was so good because we did a whole episode on the red pill guys, and a lot of that was fueled by my seeing all these whatever podcast clips. And I said plenty of things that I felt strongly about, and then he just broke it down so expertly. Like, it was just perfect. Like, he just broke it all down. Like, this is why these guys are full of shit and assholes. So, I mean, it's the same type of people that are saying what you're talking about. I'm just,
Yeah, just these goddamn brainlets that have, again, their soapboxes, because that's the internet. We all have them. We all have a soapbox.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I realize the limit of my intelligence. I really do. I have an opinion. I am very opinionated, but I understand that my opinion is like, is sort of like Play-Doh, and you can shape it and whatnot, but ultimately I still know what I know.
Sure.
So if you shape it, maybe that shape doesn't fit into the fucking piece that you're trying to put it in. So you have to reshape it a little bit more to make it make more fucking sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other people are just so fucking heels in the dirt dug in.
They're dry out Play-Doh.
Dumbest shit. Like the fact that we are still arguing the men are from Mars, women are from Venus bullshit. It just drives me fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, that should be like completely moot nowadays.
It should be.
No,
we're both from Earth. Nobody can survive on either of those fucking planets. I'm sorry to tell you.
I think you're being a little literal there.
My literalness sticks.
Oh, sorry.
Because I think the whole concept is stupid.
Agreed. No, I know.
Men and women and whatever else have been living on this fucking planet together for who knows how fucking long. I mean, scientists know. But for however fucking long.
We're just the creationists. It's like 5,000 years.
Yeah. Well, Earth is only 100 years old.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they know precisely. It's not that long.
Well, I mean, if you cut my thigh, you can read the rings and see how old I am.
Oh, that's so horrible to think about. This just gave me real... Dude, I hit a deer last night. Well, I didn't really hit the deer. I was driving and... Did I say this already?
I don't know. You didn't mention a deer.
My brain is still so foggy for some reason. I was driving, but I didn't really slam into the deer. Like, it jutted out. Two of them jumped out into the road. And I braked early enough where, like, I kind of just slowed to the point where once I hit the deer, I was just kind of pushing it. I didn't really slam into it. It's just like pushing it. So I pushed it for a few feet and then it popped up and ran away. And I felt so fucking terrible all night. I was like, that poor deer.
Fuck that deer.
Okay. I wonder if he's okay.
Fuck it.
Did I kill her?
Fuck that fucking deer.
Well,
I hate deer.
Yeah,
Living out
deer
here,
too,
I realize I hate deer. I hate them.
I do too because
they're just giant mice.
They're all over the fucking place. When you're driving at night, like, you see them on the sides of the road everywhere, and you're just hoping they're not going to jump out in front of you. But I mean, I guess it's not their fault. I mean, we're the one that put all the fucking
no. Fuck it. It is their fault. Self-preservation should say, "Oh, that big thing charging at me. I probably shouldn't. I probably should run. I probably shouldn't just stand here.
Well, that's
Cars have been around long enough. Cars have been around long enough for deer to at least adapt to the idea that maybe they don't want to get hit by it.
You're right. I mean, I guess they could adapt to that point. I guess that's true. You know, I don't understand. We have hunting season around here, and yet there are still so many fucking deer. Like,
I mentioned this in an earlier episode. It's because of they keep clearing out, and this is us. This I will blame us for. We keep clearing out more woodland areas around here, and it's pushing them.
That's true. You're right.
Into like where we live now.
Yeah, you're right.
That is exactly why.
Jesus Christ, they're so
they're building that fucking giant warehouse down the I think a couple miles away from us.
Yeah,
and it's fucking huge.
What is it?
I think it's a warehouse. According to my in-laws, it's a warehouse.
But like for what? Do you know?
For it's like a port for multiple businesses to store and their trucks and then bring them in and out.
That thing's so huge, you could see it like a couple miles away coming over the hill.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
fucking gigantic.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I've been trying to figure out what that is. Anyway, weird. What did a video game news? Did you see all the shit with the here we go, gaming time. Did you see all the shit with the game the day before?
Okay, so I've been following the day before for years.
Me too. I was looking forward to it
because I was just like, when I first saw the trailer, I went, "Is this the Division? Are they coming out with a zombie mod?
Kind of
a zombie DLC for the Division?" And I realized it was just like some other game.
Sure.
And then I heard about. Then I was like, "Oh wait, I know this company. They keep coming out with like vaporware."
Oh, I didn't know that.
The company was known for coming out with bullshit and vaporware.
I did not know that.
I forget what their other most famous game was.
That's weird for a company that like this game got a lot of attention. So it's weird that the company would have that bad history.
It's because of that bad history.
But yeah, hilarious. And they put the game out, and within like 3 days they shut it down. They closed the company.
A few days.
Like
because they knew they did that before. They did that before.
I mean, everybody, from what I understand, Steam was like refunding everybody for the game, so the company hopefully didn't really make any money off of it. But
they don't deserve it.
Why? I didn't buy it because I saw it coming. I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be a fucking mess. But I watched
a bunch of people play it. And it was an extraction shooter. It was supposed to be a zombie open world game, but it was an extraction shooter with barely any zombies. And the zombies only had like 2 animations.
Nice. That's so good.
It was really bad.
Speaking of zombie games, sorry, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, and one of the biggest glitches with that game was after character creation. There's a cutscene where you're talking to a doctor, and you'll just fall through the world. And like more than half of the players were having that problem.
That's more than half the players.
Yep.
How does that pass quality control? Jesus Christ.
There is no quality control.
Fuck. Jesus. Sorry, folks. Speaking of that genre, I started playing the Callisto Protocol because it was free.
Oh, what do you think?
With PlayStation. I like it, but it's like it's Dead Space, just not as fun. Like that's literally what it is. And I've been trying to think about what it is that makes it not as fun. It's the lack of variety in weapons. And Dead Space was so fun because they had those crazy cutter guns, and you try to shoot the limbs off. Like
you
that
just kind of don't have that. In this game, you just have bashing
bashing them
heads in
and shooting, but it's just
and you run away from the robots.
Yes, and you run away, which I don't understand because I got to the first robot and there was a hint on screen that said something like shoot the robot in the head. And I was like, okay. So I did the same scenario like 10 times trying to shoot the robot in the head. And I was like, fuck. And then I just snuck around and I was like, okay. What the fuck were they talking about? Why am I
one thing? Okay, so I don't hate the Callisto Protocol and I kind of wish it did better, but I can see why it failed.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel so far. Yeah.
Ultimately, like certain little things they should have done, like the robots attack the monsters and you.
Would make sense.
That would make it work a lot better. Would make more fucking sense.
Why wouldn't they attack? They literally
because
go like
I tried to run
biological
past one.
protected or something.
Yeah,
Or
I was being chased by one of the creatures, and I ran past the robot thinking
and it killed
that
you.
it was going to try to attack both of us. But then I turn around, and it's not. It is ignoring the shit out of that thing.
Yeah, it's
And
stupid.
it's just coming after me. I'm like, wait, so are you fucking serious? Because that kills the Ludo narrative of the game.
Yeah,
because that's a convict.
I had the exact same scenario happen where I had him chasing me and I saw the robot and was like, all right, let me run past it and hide here. And it just ignored. And then the monsters killed me and then the thing started shooting me. Just completely ignored them. It's good. Like the story's fun. The progression's fun.
It is a beautiful game.
It's beautiful. I was gonna say the level design is very has a lot of variety. So there's different worlds and areas and they look nice. It just lacks that fun of Dead Space. Like there was just something about taking the different weapons with different types of cutters and like, all right, I'm gonna aim it this way and try to like knock all its limbs off the top of its head, and or behead
Which
it.
I was playing the Dead Space remake recently.
I gotta play that.
And
yeah,
I was just like, beyond hating Isaac Clarke's face, because it's not Isaac Clarke, it's just some like redhead dude.
Right.
Like I just don't like the way Isaac Clarke looks in this game. Other than that, I was enjoying it. It brought back a lot of like joy from playing Dead Space.
I love the Dead Space.
Dead Space 2 is hands down my favorite game of the series.
Agreed. We both agree on that.
But from the little bit I did play of Callisto Protocol, they had one scene. Now, mind you, I don't like sewer levels much, but there is a sewer-ish level.
There's a whole sewer section, yeah.
Yep. But the game does something really fun and has like a PT reference where like you go into this hallway and then it just fucking loops forever.
Oh, I don't think I found that
change. It doesn't, and the reason why I didn't say spoiler alert or anything like that, because it doesn't lead to anything. But I'm like, if this game had more moments like that, like you could do it,
right,
and it was fucking incredible. It was actually an incredible little moment. But
I don't know if I just didn't get to that yet, or because I'm through the sewers.
Here's the thing. So I had a friend who did that, and what she did was she walked through and then walked backwards, and then it ended.
That might have been what I did, yeah.
She was backtracking, and she just happened to like skip it. I was like, oh, so you mean to tell me that you could just skip this whole fucking section if you're not paying attention, or if you're paying too well of attention and you just lose it? Like,
yeah, I guess I lost it then. That sucks.
It's very possible that you just never, which I mean creates that, us two friends talking, going, well, this crazy thing happened while I was playing. But the whole game could have had moments that were similar, or like more like you get poisoned by a creature in the game and that's like a whole section of the game or something.
I would have liked more supernatural elements and not so much reliance on just like zombie bad zombie.
And the monsters, there weren't that many of them. The variety was very low.
And they're just very simplistic. They're just
it was nothing like the trailer from the first time you see that trailer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like that was intense. It reminded me of that short film Zygote. Like it was just really good.
Yeah, and it's not a bad game. Not a bad game by any means. It's just it's also,
just meh.
There are some very frustrating sections too, where it's literally you just have to repeat enough times where you have an idea of where the enemies are going to be, so that you can address them quickly enough to get through the area.
Yeah,
like literally, it's just you're just going to have to do this 10 times so that you know what you have to do as you're trial and error. Like, okay, here's how I'm going to handle this. And I hate that in games. I don't like when it can't be spur of the moment and in the moment figuring out, and have that, the kind of the give where you have the option to kind of have the experience and kind of have to adapt, but make it through and not have to repeat it 27 fucking times. It just ruins, for me, it ruins the story. It ruins the ethereal aspects of the game when I'm like, well, I'm just going to do this 20 times. It just reminds me of the fact that every video game is just like, you're just playing through and it's like the infinite realities where you die at this point in the game.
Yeah. And then you have
there's the one reality where you didn't die anyway through any of the ways. Through.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, that's like every Souls game. That's literally how Souls games work.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't like that.
speaking of video games, we were the Game Awards happened recently.
Yes, they did.
And I didn't know that this was a huge fucking thing. But Baldur's Gate 3, which was a game that's been in the works for years, and Lyrian put a lot of fucking work into it, and they had an open relationship with their community, not even their community, the gaming community at large, because anyone could just jump in and play and then go, I don't like this thing, or this is something weird, and you can find a mod for it or whatever. Sure. Like,
I know. Are you going to talk about the mod that was pulled?
No.
Sorry. We'll talk about that later.
And they're like actively updating the game and fixing things and putting on consoles and all that shit. But I didn't know that it was such a big deal that Spider-Man 2 did not get Game of the Year.
I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal too, because this is also a year in which Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Several really good games,
which I haven't played yet. Yeah, so I don't know. I agree with you, and I don't get me wrong. Spider-Man 2 is amazing.
You're awesome. Somebody who 100%ed it.
Like, I 100%ed it. It was so much fun. I loved it, but it's
more of the same game.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's like just a I don't want to say mindless, but it's kind of like mindless fun. Like, it's just fun combat, fun swinging around. Like, they didn't put this enormous amount of world creation into it and story creation into it. And
if I'm not mistaken, there's less costumes than there were in like the last Spider-Man.
There might be. There's a lot of fucking costumes, but there might be.
There's a lot of costumes between two characters. You have less between two of them. Yeah. But I find it like the variety between them isn't that big. Some of them are from the last games.
Yes.
Like they just brought them back over and then they gave you palette swaps or swatches.
That's exactly what they did. Yes. Correct.
Like it feels again like a way a sequel should feel, like an update to the original.
Right.
But that's it. I'm sorry. I played Baldur's Gate. I mean, I played both of them because I wanted to make a good idea, and I'm going to own Spider-Man eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I played Baldur's Gate before it launched and after it launched. And the game feels wholly different after launch. Like, in a very good way.
Just from updates or from modding?
Updates. Updates alone.
They've just done a great job. Yeah. And I mean, it's a world. It's an expansive world. It's
extremely... The amount of detail they put into the story specifically.
They didn't just make New York City. Again, awards ceremonies in general, I always have a problem with because it's just people patting themselves on the back for being.
See, I feel like that with like celebrities, but for gaming industry, I feel like it's different. Yeah.
Gaming's different. And I don't understand why people seem to think that like Game of the Year has to equate to most popular or like biggest IP and not like who put the most work into making the most amazing game.
And it worked. It pulled off.
Yeah, like it pulled it off. I don't know.
And I'm sorry, Sony and Sucker Punch. I'm sorry, they didn't. Spider-Man still has that weird little pose that he does. I hated it. I never liked it. The combat still feels very soft to me. Like, it's good. It's the Arkham combat style, but it's soft. It's like Spider-Man's punches. He really feels like he's pulling his punches. Like, and I don't know if that's an accuracy thing. It might be the sound, but it just doesn't feel. I think it's because
it's meant to be arcadey. It's arcadey combat, which is fine and fun. Yeah, but I don't get that.
Spider-Man 2 was not Game of the Year material to me.
I don't even think it was top 3.
Yeah, genuinely. It was a really good, solid game that was awesome and deserves any amount of money that it gets. But that's it. It's still a popcorn game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet, but everything I've heard about
the story's phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. And I was boycotting it. I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast because they're not putting out a physical copy of it. So I was boycotting my own way. But I think I'm going to just have to buy the digital version because it's apparently so goddamn good. I can't not play it. And right now,
I might play it because I played the original.
I played the original too.
American
I played it
recently. Yeah.
I played it when the remaster came out a few years ago.
So I never played
and I liked that. I liked that. And this is just like another level, and it's Remedy, right? So Control.
Yeah.
Did you play Control?
I've been told to play Control. I've played Control a little bit. Every time it goes on sale, I debate on playing it, and I don't. I should play Control. I really want to.
So to me, looking at Alan Wake and how good the story was, and then Control and how good they kind of made the gameplay and the thematic elements in the world, all I can think of is Alan Wake 2 must be amazing. And obviously that's confirmed by everything I've read online. So I'm waiting for it to go on sale. So at least I feel like I partially won.
But I again, like Tears of the Kingdom came out. That was really fun. I'm not a huge fan of the Zelda. I like Zelda games, but I can't. My hands don't understand the controls. And it takes me like a week to fully understand.
They change them from the conventional, like every game, it's like X is jump.
Yeah.
Like they change the control scheme. It's like, why? Stick with what people know. So I'm not having to relearn a control scheme every fucking time I play a game.
But yeah,
that easily could have been Game of the Year.
Yeah, Liza P, which was like a sleeper hit. That game came out of fucking nowhere, being way too good than it should have been. It was just a good year for games. Pinocchio, Dark Souls-y like game, and it was fucking the music alone. God damn, the music in that game is amazing.
I haven't played it, but I will now. I'll pick it up.
It will frustrate you. I promise you, it will frustrate you. But
okay, maybe I will.
I have a friend who has less patience than you do, and he beat it. So
somebody has less patience than me? I don't believe it. When it comes to video games.
This dude has teenager style patience. He's the baby of like my other friend group.
I've got more than teenager style patience. So
yeah, no, he has teenager. He's a pothead with like teenage patience.
Quick tidbit, and then I want to jump into some real talk. Okay, some fucking real talk.
Yeah. Let's get some real talk.
I just wanted to mention.
Let me flip my chair backwards.
I haven't been listening to it really, but one of the latest episodes of the Culture War with Tim Pool was is Trump the Antichrist? That was the episode. Christ. The entire episode was debating whether or not Trump is actually the Antichrist or maybe is it Elon Musk. And I think I tweeted, I was like, doesn't this guy say he's a journalist? Doesn't he claim
he's a tabloid journalist.
I know, but he claims he's this, non-mainstream. Serious. I forget what they call what do they call them, like these people who are journalists but they're not part of the mainstream news and stuff. There's like a term
assholes?
For them.
I don't know.
No,
quartering is like that too.
It's like there's a term for it. Like I feel like it's like not on the streets journalist. There's something. But I'm like, you say you're a journalist and you did a whole episode of a podcast discussing the possibility that Trump's actually the Antichrist. Fuck you.
No, he has good marketing. That's the reason why people fucking like him.
Anyway, I just had to bring it up because I saw the title was just
dumb.
like, really? I mean, it's bad enough when you're debating like dumb bullshit, but like that's just a whole nother. Anyway, I want to talk about. Oh, you know what? We should really save this for the episode we were talking about doing, because it goes along with that conversation. But we can briefly talk about it. Did you see the thing about the Scream 7 actress getting fired?
No.
For posting pro-Palestinian or pro-Hamas something.
You know what? I did in passing. Yeah. I didn't care enough to pay attention.
I didn't care enough too because I don't give a fuck about who's in Scream 7 or who the actress, who's going to get stabbed. But like it brings me to the double standard of it. I remember back to Gina Carano and getting fired from The Mandalorian.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
She said some dumb shit too, right? And then they are like, she says some dumb shit. The left gets super mad, and then she gets fired. This Scream 7 actress says a bunch of dumb shit and gets fired, but the left is coming to her aid and saying, how dare you fire her? She should be allowed to speak her mind. And
each team does the same fucking bullshit for their teammates.
It's just another reminder of again, why is there a double standard? Like why can't we just
I'm sorry.
blanketly apply and say, yeah, if you say dumb stuff, a company can fire you. Period.
No, because we can't get past our feelings. If we feel like we're right, then we're right.
I just wish it just makes me so frustrated because the two fringes that do these things are so passionate, but they're so passionate they can't see past the dumb shit they do that makes them look like idiots. I don't know. It's just
Passion does not denote intelligence.
I know, but I like people that are passionate. Like I like people that have passion about something. But like get out of your own way. We've talked about this a million times. Get out of your own way. Like can't you just be logical and reasonable and apply values
We live in a world
universally?
We live in a world where people going, don't put your address on the internet because doxing will happen, and we just shrug at like the psychos out there that are willing to go to a stranger's house to harass them.
Yeah.
Like, we know that most of those people who are giving out outrage, I don't give a shit what the nuance of it is personally. You are that person if you're giving out outrage over minor shit or other people's opinions that really don't harm anyone.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry. And if you give way too much credence to a celebrity's opinion, then you are just as bad as the people you're complaining against. I'm sorry. You give way too much credence to it.
Oh, you're right.
But no, it's not for that. It's for the business. Everybody's a Tim Pool. Everybody wants to make their money off of outrage.
Absolutely.
So they're going to say any kind of dumb, outrageous shit.
Try to claim that they're fixing it or healing it. I hate, he says
and,
so
and they will
often I
fight
see clips
tooth and nail.
He talks about how they're winning the culture war. I'm just like, dude.
There's no fucking war.
Are you happy about, like, but like, why you're propagating the war that you think exists? Like,
well,
you're making this
culture war.
You're winning a war you're creating.
Let's quite literally name the culture war what it is. Petty argument. That's what it is.
That's fringe on either side having petty arguments about
just having petty arguments on the fucking internet forever and always.
I realize
that is what they are. That is what they're doing. They are nothing more than a form of entertainment. That is it. They're not not informational. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They make their buck. They are just entertainment.
No, you're right.
They are no more viable than we are.
It just, my brain wants so hard to not think of people. As much as I dislike people and I just assume people are dumb. You just
want to have hope for them.
I want to have some hope. And like, it's just, it's infuriating to me that, again, people want to make money off of just making the world worse.
Yep.
And they just do. All right. On a just completely different note, a completely different note. Just want to give a shout out. Dude, this made my fucking day. My favorite author, J.A. Conrad. He writes horror novels, thrillers, and he writes a detective series. He just put out a new book in his detective series. He's got this detective series with this detective Jack Daniels. Ha ha ha. Great series, lots of like serial killer books, but it's a 20-second book. And in the dedication, he was like, you know what? I haven't dedicated a book to anybody in a while, so I want to dedicate this book to a few fans. And he included me in like, I don't know, like really nice. 8, 10. And I was like blown the fuck away because like, I don't like, I was like, I don't get why was that, like, it's got lots of thousands of people reading his books. And I was just so happy. And I thought about it, but I thought about it and I was like, I've emailed back and forth with him over the years and tweeted. But anyway, I went back in Twitter because I was trying to remember when I started reading his books, and it was 2011. And wow. I was on Twitter. Because I think I found him on Twitter. I was like, I've been on Twitter for 12 years. It's so long.
I'm sorry.
It's melting my brain for 12 years. My brain has been getting melted by Twitter. That's crazy. But yeah, so shout out. Go read his books. Are so good. His horror books, so goddamn good. Lots of body horror, and just really fucking grotesque, crazy, fucked up shit. And then the detective series is great. Like really good dramatic thriller stuff. It's not drama at all. It's actually comedy thrillers. Lots of jokes and funny shit.
I mean, with the main character's name Jack Daniels, I would only assume that there's a sense of humor somewhere.
Dude,
in there.
It made my fucking month, my year. I was like just so like happy. I was like, that's so cool. And I tweeted and I was like, dude, I don't know why you put me in there, but like, thank you so much. And he was like, thanks for all the kind words over the years. And I was like, oh, like never think about it like that. People are paying attention because I
That
always
stuff does sink in. That stuff
anytime,
does sink in.
but it's like cool to like be like wow, because like I'll always tweet like newest book was so good, loved it, great book. I'll write reviews for all the books on Goodreads and like tweet people and say like, hey, read the, retweet whenever there's a new one out, or if he's got one on sale, hey, this book was so awesome, blah blah blah. So like the fact that it was actually seen and then acknowledged was like, damn, that's awesome. Like never was expecting that. Just was like putting out there like, this is good stuff, check it out, made my fucking day. I was so happy. Yeah, so that's that. I had one more thing I want to talk about, but that's going to go with our topic where we skipped for today. So we'll talk about that later. Anything else you want to chat about before we get into our topic?
I had my few tirades.
you did. I think you got to send me those YouTube links because I've been getting more into the long form YouTube videos that are more. I don't know what the right word is. They're more real, not realistic.
They're video essays.
More credible.
They're
more credibility than
there's a structure to them. It's not just opinion usually.
Yes. Yeah, like real right. Video essays is a good way to put it. Because I like reading regular essays. So that one I sent you on that fucking podcast was like, I loved it so much. I was like, I need to find more videos like this. It's like, this is such a nice breakdown. So instead of just somebody just sitting there going like blah 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 blah.
With Jarvis Johnson, because he's more so he's jokey kind of reaction stuff.
Sure,
but I like his stuff. It's him and another guy. I don't remember the other guy's name. Who usually shows up on his stuff. But like, you had to fall out of these people. I had fallen in and out. Like at some point, he was with this guy called Nick Is Not Green, who's a piece of shit. And so you really have to like. It's weird when you find a video essayist that you follow.
Sure. Yeah.
To like not necessarily have that. I hate the term, but this parasocial kind of relationship to what they say.
Sure. No, you're right.
It gets really hard because I stopped watching Jarvis after a while because of that. But it's because the guy Nick, I started not liking anyway because he was very virtue signally, and it turns out that he's even worse than that.
Ugh.
After time went on, like leading into like life ruination of other people just because he didn't like them.
Oh well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. It's hard to know, I guess, when you find like I can't even remember her name. I found a one who a video YouTuber or a video essay type YouTuber that's a lawyer that does a lot of stuff on recent law and stuff that I really like too. But it's like, yeah, I don't know what else.
I like Legal. That's that guy I like.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, you're gonna have to send me some because it's.
Yeah.
I'd rather, if I'm gonna consume. If I'm gonna consume social media,
I'm gonna consume it all. I want all the information.
I forget which day it was. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was last weekend. One of the days last weekend, my brain was so fogged that I was.
Yeah.
You have to ask my wife. She was just like, "Are you fucking high? Like, what is going on?" I was like, "I don't know. My brain is just not working."
Dude, don't worry. Last night, my wife was talking to me, and I swear she thought I had a stroke because I know said a sentence, and I started it, and then ended it with a completely different sentence. And I don't remember what I said because I heard myself and was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Did I tell you about the knocking sound I heard a couple weeks ago in the middle of the night?
No,
it was a few weeks ago now. It might have been 3 weeks ago now. I like woke out of a sleep hearing like a knocking, like bum bum bum.
Yeah,
and I couldn't tell if it was a dream. It was in my dream and it woke me up because you know how that happens.
Yeah,
you have a really vivid dream and then you just wake up out of it. What?
You reminded me of something. I'll wait until you're done.
Okay. I couldn't tell if it was a dream or if it really happened. So I turned to my wife. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was like, "Did you hear that?" And she just went, mm-hmm. And I said, what the hell was that? And she was like, hmm. I was like, why is she not more alarmed by this? But because she said, I assumed it happened. So I spent like an hour and a half, like going around the house. I'm like looking upstairs, looking downstairs. I went down the basement. It was like the boiler. I went outside. I'm looking on, did something blow across the porch? And I actually went in my camera feeds. I'm checking and I'm like, I don't hear the sound in my camera feeds during those few minutes.
Yeah.
And I finally was just like, I don't know. It was either the wind blew something because it was really windy, or I dreamed it. And then the next morning I asked her, I was like, yeah, what was that? She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I asked you if you heard it. Yeah. She was like, I didn't, you didn't. I was like, you didn't ask me. I was like, I wasted an hour and a half because I thought she heard. Anyway, go ahead.
So your experience, so my wife she's a little mad at me, or was a little mad at me, probably still is deep down inside.
They're all deep down
I fall
inside
asleep
a little
with
mad.
I fall asleep with my headphones in,
Okay.
with a headphone in. One, because it's just that weird comfort thing, and two, I fall asleep with it in my head, and then it just so happens to stay there.
Okay.
There's a show that I'm sorry.
No, I was just looking into those bone conducting speakers you could put under your pillows. Have you tried one of those?
I want one of those.
All right.
I never tried it.
We should get those and try them because I need something like that too. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a scene in a podcast that I listen to on repeat. It's a comedy podcast called Are You Afraid of These Stories? I think it's hilarious. It's an acquired taste.
It sounds fun.
And
anyway, go ahead.
But one guy has a Casio watch and it beeps.
Okay.
So
I know the sound.
So one night I'm like, I have my headphones in. It's not loud. It's on medium. And my wife is watching Law and Order, and I was talking to her. She paused her show, and all of a sudden it beeps in my head, and I'm ignoring it because I'm used to hearing it. But my wife says, "What the fuck is that noise?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my show. His Casio watch is beeping." So she's like, "Oh, okay." So a few nights later, it's not that episode that's playing now, but another thing I'm listening to, and I fall asleep listening to a video on YouTube. Well, on YouTube, there was a beeping noise that was almost identical to that. I remember waking up and thinking I was dreaming that noise.
Right.
I was just kind of like, trying to wake up, like, is that just in my head? Is that me? And my wife gets up out of bed, and I fall back to sleep. I wake up again, and the beeping's still going. So I'm like, oh, that's my headphones. I turn it off, and I look, my wife's still not in the bed, and the light's on. And then I like lay down, fall asleep again. I wake up because she came into the room, and I look at her and go, "Are you okay?" Because I thought she might have gone to the bathroom or got sick. But she's like, "There's a beeping." And in my head, I'm like,
it's not funny, but it's funny. You didn't tell her.
Do I own up? I went, do I own up to this?
No,
you know, I'll just own up to it. I think it might have been my headphones.
You're probably the right thing to do, I guess.
I was like, I think it might have been my headphones. The glare this woman gave me.
Oh, I can see it.
In the darkness of our room. She goes, I was just in the basement hoping a fire alarm wasn't going off.
Oh my God.
Or an O2 sensor. You could not go to sleep with your headphones in. Like, she was pissed.
The right thing to do was own up to it, but you probably shouldn't have. You probably should have been like, oh, I don't know. Is it gone now? Oh, it's probably something outside.
I was mad that she was talking to me like a goddamn child.
Well,
I can't discredit the fact that I understand.
No, absolutely.
Honestly, I like, the cynical side of me is like, why didn't you just wake me the fuck up?
She was being
and ask me if I heard that noise.
She wanted to. I was gonna ask why she was looking around the house and not you. Usually, you know, traditional values. The man should be the one up looking around the
either
house.
One of us, if we hear something. Look, my wife is a ride or die. Like, early in our marriage, we were living in an apartment, and I don't like sliding doors on the base floor of a house. It makes me paranoid. I don't like it. I always think there's somebody standing right outside in the darkness staring into my house.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I have them in the basement. I don't care for it.
Yeah. So my key, I guess the key rack fell, and we heard a shattering, which sounds like glass. It's like
Mhm.
4 a.m. So
Right.
my wife and I both leap out of the bed, like fucking like stealth our way through the house with fucking knives.
I can see it. I do this,
Like,
dude.
if somebody broke in our house, we're stabbing you to fucking death.
Yeah. Oh, I do this. Okay. So my wife is the deepest sleeper ever, so she doesn't wake up for shit. But I can't tell you, probably a dozen times just in this house, I've had something has made a noise somewhere, and it's woken me up or awakened, whatever the word is. And then same thing. I've got a big fucking hunting knife in my desk drawer, and I've got a retractable baton. So it's usually one in each hand. I got the knife, like
I'm going,
upside down.
I'm going full monkey warrior.
Yeah. Like they have the knife upside down so they can like do the backslash, and then I got the baton in the other hand. I'm just walking around the house with both. Like, I hope nobody has a gun because I ain't gonna do shit.
Look, that's what throwing is for. At that point, like, you're gonna get shot, but I don't want you to kill my family. Like,
there you go. I miss, that's the one thing I miss about living in like a townhouse or like an apartment where like you'd hear a noise at night and just be like, it's probably a neighbor, Yeah. Now, and live in the middle of nowhere, any noise, I'm just like, okay, well, that was something.
Oh man, the guy in the clown mask is coming. I know it.
Oh, speaking of, I'm watching Freak Show right now. I think I mentioned that.
Oh yeah, how you liking that so far?
It's good, but it feels slow.
It is very slow.
Yeah, doesn't.
Again, it's losing steam.
Issues,
the show pacing has been the show's biggest problem, even from the first season. But it becomes like obvious later on.
It's a hard thing to do over 13 episodes. And nowadays, when there are a lot of series that only do 6 or 8 episodes and they do it well, it feels like it might be better served if they had done it that way. But anyway, all right, we should probably move on to our topic.
An hour and a half later,
it's time to begin the complaining.
I should have thought about this ahead of time and made like a Holly Jolly version of the topic theme. Add some jingle bells in the background.
Well, it's time to begin the complaining. Ching, 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 ching. There we go.
Thank you. So Joaquin and I were discussing before we started recording, and we were talking about a couple topics, and we were like, yeah, those are heavy or just don't feel right. And it's the holidays, so why not go with a holiday theme? And we couldn't settle on one particular thing, so we're just going with, in general, the Christmas spirit.
God damn it. The fact that Matt and I realized they were both Grinches. Well, it was obviously that Matt's a Grinch.
Yes, I've been a Grinch for many years. I embrace my inner Grinch.
But I am a Grinch too. Like, I just really do not dig Christmas at all.
You don't dig it at all? Yeah. You know what I just realized? We only have two, I think, colloquial ways we refer to people like us. There's Grinch and Scrooge, and both of those assholes got better. Again, brain fart. They redeemed themselves in the end. So I don't feel like
in the end they care about other people. But I think that's us. We care about people.
Oh,
we're
sure.
Because they're more so callous than they are evil or hate Christmas.
Yeah,
they're
you're
callous.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So, in regards to it.
Well, you're right. The Grinch in particular, he really just hates Christmas, period. Like, he doesn't like people particularly, but doesn't like despise or have disdain for people. He just really hates Christmas.
They're not evil characters. I mean, Scrooge is literally like Lord of Capitalism. Like,
yes,
if he wasn't good by any means, none of that shit that he saw, and any of his hallucinations would not have changed his mind. Because a real realistic Scrooge, and I don't ever bring this man up like for this reason, but it makes perfect sense. Like, if they made a Scrooge movie with like Donald Trump and he doesn't fucking change at the end because he's Donald Trump, that would be the most accurate Scrooge.
That would be so good.
It would be so fucking good. I would actually watch that.
Really scary, but I don't give a fuck. They're just ghosts. What are they gonna do? They can't get me. They're fucking spirits. They can't touch. They can't feel. That would be a great movie. That would be so good. Somebody should do that. We watch. So okay, wife, don't hate me, okay? Because my wife,
And we know
Christmas.
you are the avatar of Christmas.
Yes, that's the best. That's the best way I've ever heard. She is the avatar of Christmas. She is the Christmas Holy Spirit, the Christmas spirit embodied. She's the Christmas spirit embodied. She literally is.
Like
Spirit.
You know how like if somebody dresses up as a Christmas elf, they would look awkward. She would not.
No. So listen. This is Christmas. This is the month of December in the O'Sullivan household. First off, have you seen our house at Christmas time? You have, right?
No.
You haven't? Okay.
I have not.
It turns into a winter wonderland. There are decorations fucking everywhere. Just shit everywhere. Christmas decorations. It's just
do you have to
the
put
entire.
Them up? Does she make you put them over? She does it herself.
No, she does it all herself. And I think
I
don't think
wife is a beast.
She is a beast.
Like
she does it in like a couple. Like I'll
with
wake
a
up
smile
in the morning.
On her face.
I'll wake up in the morning and it's just changed. Like it's just everything.
I want to draw your wife as a Christmassy Dark Souls character.
You should do that. That would be pretty dope. But the entire downstairs of our house is just Christmas now. It's completely different. Her car has antlers on it and lights on it and
yes, that I do know.
Well, during Christmas she puts all the other stuff on too. Oh, that's right. You know that.
No, I know about the antlers.
Listen, during December, every day she has a different Christmas themed outfit, and we're not talking like just a Christmas shirt. She'll have like a Christmas shirt and a Christmas themed skirt and socks and shoes and like a headband with reindeer antlers on it. She is fucking Christmas. If like there was a contest, who is the most Christmas in the world? She would win the contest.
The most Christmas in the world.
And she's married to me. She's married to me. Who does not like Christmas? I don't like my core dislike of Christmas is the two things. One, the consumerism, which everybody talks about. And two, the thing that I hate the most is everybody decides that for a month a year, they're going to be nice and pleasant and kind to each other. And then the rest of the year, just for shit. Who gives a fuck?
Which, mind you, let's be honest here. Most kids are at their fucking worst at this month.
Oh, absolutely, because they're so amped up and antsy waiting
they're just
for
amped the fuck up over a lie. I'm sorry. How am I going to give this old fucker all the credit for all the work that I'm fucking doing to make Christmas great? Oh, I'm going to tell Santa on you. This motherfucker hasn't done shit in my house.
Oh, I have had... Okay, and well, I guess it's too late for a warning for anybody listening with kids nearby.
Well, your kids shouldn't be listening to this.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, bad parent. But, I had a real existential crisis with the whole concept to begin with. Like, there is this huge fucking lie that I'm going to tell my kids and propagate it for years.
And they're supposed to be okay with it when they find out.
Yeah, and I'm just going to destroy their world one day. Or somebody's going to destroy their world one day when they find out it was all a fucking lie. And I don't remember back when I was a kid and this happened. So I don't recall the pain of it. I don't recall if I was just like, oh, or if I really hurt.
We all have the Christmas.
I know my daughter.
We all have the Christmas trauma where we don't really remember. The moment. True. We just blocked it out. We just became hateful.
Knowing my daughter, and you know my daughter, I am pretty sure it's going to be an epic thing when she
I am surprised my daughter did not say anything to your daughter about. I know my daughter's teetering. My daughter teeters between believing and not believing. But I'm surprised she didn't say anything to your daughter.
So which is fine. Like if she did, that's fine. Because that's how it happens, right? But my daughter's teetering too because she already knows the Easter Bunny is bullshit. She figured that out. She figured that out because I think she found the Easter basket somewhere and was like, oh, well, that's bullshit. And I think she knows the Tooth Fairy's bullshit because when my son lost a tooth, she was saying something about putting something under his pillow, like she wanted to do something, and I was like, oh, yeah. So maybe but I think she's still teetering on Santa. I think she's still kind of hanging in there, like, And I remember being a kid and wanting to hang on to it because I was like, well, if I don't believe, does the toy stop? does the fun stop? Right? So,
oh my god, you just unlocked a memory. You fuck.
oh, sorry. Oh, I don't know. What did I do? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, go on. I'll let you finish, and I'll let the world know what the memory was.
Well, so there's that, but just the fundamental truth of it is, I hate the time of year where everybody decorates with all these fucking decorations, and everybody acts so happy and like, oh, Merry Christmas.
You pump up your
acts
you
nice.
push the economy. You fucking pump up your electric bill on fucking lights you don't need.
But it's just the like, how it's almost like we made it so it's like a reverse purge. It's like we were like, we're gonna make a month of the year where everybody's gonna be nice and be happy, so that the rest of the year we could be assholes, complete dickheads to each other. That's what it feels like to me.
I don't see it like, an allowance to be a jerk. There's a reason why I'm looking at my phone too.
Go ahead, look at your phone.
Because I have to look up a conversation about Christmas trees that I had.
That's fine. But it's just, I guess that's my biggest issue with the Christmas spirit is, why does it have to be a thing? Like, when people talk about the Christmas spirit, they're talking about the goodwill towards men. Like, that's literally the phrase.
Yeah.
Why can't
but it's only for that period of time.
Yeah. Can't we just why do we have to have a certain time of year where we're allowed to be nice and kind and good people?
So I don't remember if I think it's a World War II story about like the Germans and Americans or the UN were on like war lines, and it was during Christmas, and they didn't fight for 1 year. And I know it's supposed to be inspirational, but my brain, being a veteran and being a war veteran specifically, going, the next day those motherfuckers killed each other.
Right? Yes.
And mind you, they had goodwill. They drank with each other. They probably became friends. Some of them probably fucked and then had to kill each other right after.
The story would have been great.
For what?
The story would have been great if maybe they went, oh, it's Christmas, let's stop fighting. And then we're like, you know what? This is bullshit. Why are we even doing this?
We're not going to fight.
Why are we fighting? Because some asshole.
Like, that story is so fucking dark to me.
It is dark, but you're right. Nobody thinks about the aftermath of the next day. They just think about how nice and sweet it was. I don't know why I've
heard that story so many goddamn times, and just it's upsetting to hear that, like, to think about. And
like, okay, look, there are aspects of Christmas that I like the Christmas tree. I think it's pretty. Does it take up room in my my family room and mean I have to move my recliner and don't have my recliner to sit in all month? Yes, and that pisses me off. But like, I like the Christmas tree. It's pretty. It looks nice. Like, it's a nice decoration. Sure, there are even some Muppet Christmas Carol. I actually love that movie. It's a great movie. I like the Muppets. It's funny. I love the songs. Like, so like some of it's cool, but it's this whole general whole mindset change where we decide for a month we have to change the way we are and be different types of people than we typically are, and why we reserve again goodwill for a month is just fucking stupid.
Like, we hold it up all year. The way you're perceiving it, which I agree with to a larger degree, is that we're holding it up all year, and then instead of like drip feeding your kindness, so you don't just run out, you just dump it all at the end so you can get something at the end. It's almost reminiscent to like the conversation we had about religion. Like, oh, I'm going to church and doing all this shit to appease God just so I can get into heaven, not because I'm actually a good person and care.
Right.
Like,
I just believe I'm going to rot in the fires of hell if I don't do this.
So somebody asked, do you do real or fake trees?
Do I?
It was on Instagram. No, somebody asked. This was the thing I was looking at.
You paused, and I was like, "Oh, are you asking?"
Okay. Sorry.
No, I knew what you were saying, but I didn't know if you were waiting for me to answer. Go ahead.
Oh, no. So I do fake trees. Here's why. One less expense during Christmas time.
Yep.
Because you just pack it away and that's it.
Sure.
I don't want to go outside to deal with people in order to get a tree and drive it back home.
Yeah. Oh my God. Trying to get it on your car and shit. Oh.
Yep.
Unless sometimes
only to have to clean it during the new year. and I don't want to get stabbed with pine needles.
Yeah, I hate that part. There's also watering it and trying to keep it
Yep.
from drying out, and then the pine needles
Yeah,
all
I'm
fall
just
over.
torturing a tree.
Yep.
I'm just torturing a tree, and I feel let's say they're annoying as fuck. The smell is nice. The smell is nice,
Yeah,
but I feel less guilty about a tree slowly dying in my house.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could go one of those eco-friendly routes now where you can like rent
the weird
tree.
bulb on the bottom.
Yeah, and
you can rent them.
They do. Yeah,
I've seen the one with the bulb.
They will dig a tree up. You can put it in your house, and then they'll take it back and replant it at the end of the year. And every year they
so it's kidnap a tree.
Kidnap a tree.
That's what we're doing now.
I don't know about you, but I have to pay like fucking $25 for them to come pick it up and drag it off with the garbage. I think last time I had a real tree, I just threw it in the woods. I was like, fuck this.
Let it rot naturally.
Yeah. We got a fig tree, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and I was the one that insisted on a real tree the year before. I was like, I want a real tree because I like the smell and blah blah. And then it was such a fucking nuisance. The needles were just drying out and falling off it like immediately. I was vacuuming every day because there's dead needles everywhere. By Christmas, it looked like a fucking Charlie Brown tree because there's like half the shit was gone. I was like, all right, well, that was a mistake.
Which people don't even consider. Like, what if the tree has a bacteria or a fungus, and that's going to kill your fucking tree real quick? Because I've seen it happen.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't fucking know when you bring it into your house. If you have pets, like cats, that cat's going to eat a lot of that tree and throw that shit up all over the fucking house and is poisonous to them.
I love that we're having a debate about real or fake Christmas trees.
If you have stupid babies or children, they're going to fuck with that tree all the goddamn time because they're stupid baby children. Children are dumb.
Oh,
they fuck with everything.
When the kids were like, I think up to at least the age of 3, we just didn't put any ornaments below like a certain height on the tree, so they couldn't get them because there's a bunch of ornaments that are like, they're glass or they're super fragile or different stuff like that we didn't want them touching. And even
I was a dumb little asshole. I used to play with my action figures on our tree.
Oh,
that was stupid as shit.
So did I. Yeah, I used to play under the tree with my figures, and we had a little fucking manger under the tree, and I'd put like fucking Lion-O in the manger with Jesus. Be like,
your mom definitely seems like the woman to put a manger in Christmas as Christmas decorations.
Well, it's funny. My mom's not. She's not
because of religion, not for religion, just for decoration.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. She's not overly. My mom and I haven't had a discussion about religion in a long time, but she doesn't go to church anymore. And hasn't for a very long time. So I don't know where she really stands on that part of it. And like, all right, look, so my kids just did. I'm not going to go into complete detail here, but at my wife's church where she sings, the church group, music group that she's in, they do a Christmas pageant every year where they do a little, telling of the story of Jesus. Yeah, I know.
Sorry. You said Christmas pageant, and that was like your wife.
That's what they call it. And my kids are in it now. So my daughter's like one of the main roles, and she's like, it's. So we just went to it. It's awesome. Like I love watching her up there being herself, and all these other kids are like up there like, and then the angel came to me, and it was baby Jesus was going to be born, and like forget their lives. And my daughter's up there like delivering like a Broadway pro, like just nailing it. So like I love going and seeing it and being super proud of her, but boy do I not like Christmas story pageant in general, like the whole play, the telling of the story. And it's like they kind of make it funny.
Oh my god,
they have this one scene where I think it's King Herod finds out about baby Jesus, and he's mad, and there's like literally a little girl sitting next to him in like a Princess Jasmine outfit, feeding him grapes and waving a big palm frond at him like a little slave girl. And it makes me laugh every year. I'm like, there's a little slave girl in this. They made that little girl do that role. So my son was in it this year for the first time. And he was He was a shepherd. I don't think he had any lines. He just he walked up to the
Wore a
stage
beard? No, just
with
kidding.
yeah. Oh no, he didn't. He didn't. The other kid did. There was two shepherds,
Okay.
and then had some little kid in a sheep costume crawling behind him, which was. I said he should. I was like, do they have any? He should be the ass, but they didn't have an ass this year, so
Yeah.
Oh
my
so like, it
God.
was nice to see my kids in it and everything, but all the Jesus hurts me. It hurts me inside.
I don't know. Like, really quick, because before I forget, the memory unlocked that you did for me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
When I think I was like 12 when I caught my mom packing Christmas gifts.
Oh boy, yeah, really? I don't think I ever caught anybody.
And so she had me get up because I had a little sister and help her pack the rest of the gifts.
So she was just like, fuck. Now, well, you might as well help me.
Yep. And then she told me, now you're helping Christmas now, so don't expect as many gifts.
Oh, that stings.
Now, mind you, I wasn't trying to be sneaky. I just got up.
No, I get it.
I didn't give a shit what time it was. I'm a kid. I was like 12. I didn't give a shit.
Right.
And that was kind of like,
you can't sleep.
After that, after that, I didn't get many gifts. Not saying I didn't get any gifts, but I didn't get many gifts. Not as many as I used to. I would help with Christmas, and I got used to not wanting as much during Christmas time.
Okay.
Like one year I got like 2 things, and it was a keyboard and a PlayStation 2.
That's pretty good haul.
So
though.
3 things because of game. And no, it was really dope. So I learned to be appreciative of like, just, it's not about giving me a whole bunch of things.
Sure, right.
So it kind of worked out. But it also fucked me up for the future because now every time around Christmas, I don't expect anything.
Oh, I see.
It's just like hard baked into me.
Yeah.
So like my mother-in-law for like 2 months has been asking me what I wanted for Christmas, and I would actively avoid her. I just not.
Why? Because you can't think of anything? Because you don't want anything?
No, because I'm just like, my wife would be like, "What do you want for Christmas?"
Yeah.
Like there are things I want, but it's like a barrier.
Well, I mean, there are, like I think for like middle-aged dudes like us, I mean, I'm trying to think of who gets me Christmas presents. My wife. My mother, my mother-in-law, my dad usually just gives me a check. So I guess that counts.
My parents don't give me shit. My parents haven't given me shit in years.
Well, I mean, like my mom usually, it's more practical stuff. It's not.
Yeah. No. I mean, they literally don't give me anything. They give me stuff for my kids.
No, I know. But it's not. It's less. And like, I don't want my mom doesn't have to get me shit. Usually, she gets me more practical. Like, she'll get me like tools or something. Like, so less like shit I want. More
man things.
Yeah, man things. Yeah, I hammer. I do hammering.
I do the hammer.
I do that. I know how to hammer.
I sometimes screwdriver.
I can screwdriver sometimes. Once in with the pointy head and the sharp head
and the plus sign. The one with the plus.
I know that. Yeah. There's 2 of them. I know. And then my kids do because they have. Do they do it at your kids' school where they have the little holiday boutique where the kids can come and buy gifts for people?
Yes.
So
which you know what, that actually helps with budgeting. Like
it does. I like that they do it. I think it's like, well, you know what? It helps with budgeting. It saves me the trip of having to bring them out to do it. And it really allows them to do it for themselves. And my daughter is like so sweet. Like I think she genuinely likes giving presents. Maybe not more, but as much as she likes getting them. And like she gets
my daughter is volatile.
So
yeah, my daughter is super volatile, but she's the exact same way.
It's so sweet, isn't it? Like how she came home so excited about everything she picked out, and she was so eager to show me everything that wasn't for me. And my son, of course, goes,
yeah.
My son, of course, he goes, hey, you have to get things for the adults before you get something for yourself. And I was like, no, you're not supposed to get something for yourself. And he's like, no. They told me that I had to get stuff for everyone else.
They do tell you. So they do tell you.
So you bought yourself a Christmas gift, buddy? Yeah, I got myself this dinosaur egg. And I was like, you're not supposed to buy something for yourself, you asshole.
No, but you are. No, it's literally in the paper. It says like You buy something, but you save enough money to buy yourself a little something. That's literally what it says, and the teachers promote that.
I didn't know that, but they didn't have to say that. He would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
He would have been like, how
so
much
my
do I have
son,
left over? No, can I get that?
My son, if I'm not mistaken, went, like, he got money back. He was like, did you get yourself anything? He goes, I didn't really want anything. I just wanted to make sure you guys got stuff.
Good for him. Good for him.
And it's just, but I think it wasn't out of like kindness. It was just out of practicality. Like he saw things and he was just like, nah.
Yeah, I get it. I like to think it's a little of both.
But my daughter made sure she spent as much money as possible. It was like, well, I got you this, I got you 2 things because I thought you would really like these. And like the amount of enthusiasm she gives,
yeah, it's nice.
She takes for herself too, because she got herself like 2 or 3 things.
Well, that's fine, but it
was fine.
As long as she has that
it's fine.
That that spirit, the Christmas spirit of being happy to be picking things out that she thinks people will like. It's so sweet.
I'm perfectly fine with her being like that. Only because it's not self-sacrificial like me.
Right.
Where to my own detriment, I would like overgift or take care of someone else. She's like, no, a little for you, a little for me. A little. That's like great. I prefer that mindset.
My daughter ended up grabbing something for herself, something stupid and simple for herself as well. And I was teasing my son like, yeah, you had to go get some for yourself. And then she was kind of getting upset because she thought I was like, I'm not. I was like, you're
joking.
Different. You're
different.
Not
serious. Yeah.
He's different. Like I know he wanted to get something for himself. I know you were just like,
look, honey, I'm sorry. Your brother is very selfish.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Pointing out.
I was like, I'm teasing him because I know how selfish he is, and he was like, okay, I'll get everybody else something, but only so I can get myself something afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know. I like Christmas morning. I enjoy. I like seeing them happy, and opening their presents, and then they don't care 5 minutes later, and then I feel horrible again.
Going back to your original point with your wife being, the avatar of Christmas, I realized my wife is my wife. God, I made that joke. She is sort of like the human, the more human aspect of that. She's neurotic to the point that Christmas has to be this way. There has to be like, we have these traditions. We have to do them. This has to be done. But it's not more so out of the cheeriness of it. It's more so, this is what we do. This is what we're supposed to be like.
My wife has that too. She's been very...
No, I know. But what I'm saying is the Christmas cheer isn't the aspect.
Oh, okay. So she doesn't have that part. She doesn't have the cheer part.
Yeah, it's more so she feels the obligation strictly for it to be said way.
My wife,
because it's baked into her.
I get that. I get that.
And we have little things that she does get cheery about. Like she gets everybody an ornament. That is a thing, a tradition that she goes with. And my cynical ass just doesn't give a shit.
Right. No, I get it.
I enjoy the fact that she enjoys doing that. But when it gets bigger, like she's like, I have to pack these in this specific wrapping because this is the Santa wrapping.
You're on your own.
This wrapping because kids are gonna like. She's like, no, you wrap that, but it's in the wrong wrapping. I'm like, bitch, it's paper. The kids are gonna come, not give a shit, and rip it up if it has their name on it.
No, they're not.
But no, that's not the way it is.
As much as those, because my wife's the same way about the same stuff. As much as it drives me crazy, another word for tradition is ritual, and I understand ritual.
Yes,
because ritual is how I get through my day, right? Like my daily rituals are how I'm able to live a sane, mentally stable life. And if I didn't have them, I would lose my mind and probably be neurotic and insane. So I get that. I get it how it applies. But yeah, my wife's been giving us a hard time last night because we haven't watched enough Christmas movies, and I'm like, we've watched like 3 or 4. It's not enough. So we watched Frosty the Snowman last night, and I can't help but when we watch the older ones, so like any of the Franken and Bass,
the
Rankin Best, whatever they are, yeah, and like the old cartoon,
something German,
yeah, those they're I can't help but mock them relentlessly because there's just so many funny moments to me. So like we were watching Frosty, and I started out making a lot of comments and like jokes. And then I was like, oh, she's getting mad. And my daughter wouldn't stop. And I was like, okay, stop. She was doing the same thing. She was just going right along with me, like just shitting on it. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. And like just shitting on it and joking about it. And like, that's kind of part of my tradition is like, we watch them and I make the same jokes every year.
You have to be cynical.
I make the same fucking joke.
One thing I didn't know, I guess this is me feeling like a bad dad, because I did not know that my kids like the movie Elf.
Elf is a weird movie because
I never watched it. I don't have an interest in watching it.
You have never watched Elf?
Nope.
Dude, I have seen Elf.
I have no interest in it.
I've seen 100.
I have no interest in it. Like, I have zero interest in it.
So here's my...
even if it starts, I just tune out.
Here's my stance on Elf. Elf is weird to me because there are traditional or classic Christmas classics that have been around since my childhood and predated me, and were Christmas classics, right? It was always around. And Elf is now one of those movies, and it's weird to me because it's part of that Christmas classic zeitgeist, but I remember when it came out. Yeah. So it's weird for me because all these other Christmas classics are from like the 50s, the 60s, and even 70s and 80s. Like, I don't remember them. They were around before me. And to have a Christmas classic be there, it makes me like, wow, I'm old now. There's a Christmas classic that came out in my memory. My problem with Elf is it was funny the first time I saw it and I liked it. And then the second time I was like, yeah, that's a cute movie. And the third and fourth maybe. And then by the fifth or sixth time, I was like, I'm so sick of this fucking movie. And now that I've seen it 100 fucking times, I can't stand it anymore because I've seen it too many motherfucking times. And it's just, that's part, like, I get the Christmas like tradition, like, oh, we watch this every year. But I'm like, I've seen this movie so many fucking times now. I don't like watching a movie more than once when I love a movie. So seeing a movie dozens of times to me is just like a chore now that I have to sit through the fucking movie. I guess that's why I make the
very
joke.
rare when I can sit through a movie multiple times.
Well, that's how I get through them now, I guess, is the jokes. I have to make fun of them so that I can get through the 30, 45 hour, whatever it is.
I do that. My wife hates that about me because I do that with songs. Like, my wife likes, radio music that plays on the radio.
Sure.
And if I hear a song that I generally don't like, but is like an earworm, I'll start making up words and making jokes.
Yes, I get it.
Or singing it really weirdly. And
I do the same thing. So
that's something she's had to get used to. And I was like, I can't help it. I'm sorry. I know you like this Pink song. I am 100% aware that you love this song, but my brain cannot process this song without making fun of it.
Yeah, you have to. Dude, just watch it, Frosty the Snowman. I'm like, Frosty the Snowman was a big fat pile of snow. Like making stupid lyrics up as we were watching that. I couldn't help myself. And I was making lines.
The top hat is the one with all the magic.
Oh, shit.
Claymation creeps me out, so yeah, stuff like that is always.
It creeps me out.
Oh yeah, like
there's like 5 or 6 of those classic, what are they called? Rankin Bass. My wife's gonna kill me for not knowing the exact name. Rankin Bass. Whatever.
It's either Rankin Bass or Riken Bass.
Something like that.
Bass and Rankin.
There's like 5 or 6 of those, names. And Rudolph, Year Without a Santa Claus,
Land of Misfit Toys.
That's Rudolph, really. Anyway,
is that Rudolph?
Yes,
I guess that was in the Rudolph movie.
But there's a few of them, and we watch them all every year. And I actually really like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I like that one because it tries to explain all the weird Christmas things, like all the like why Santa's the way he is and why he does a certain thing. And I loved that. I was like, oh, I really like that they tried to take all these weird traditions and come up with explanations for them. I like that one. And there's this one scene in the middle that's like literally an LSD trip. It like everything goes all.
I think I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I love that part because I'm just like, oh yeah, they were all on LSD when they came up with this fucking part of the movie.
Well, because honestly, when you think of like all the Christmassy things lined up, like all the weird traditions and all like the weird stories about characters, and like you line them up, it really sounds like somebody's like lying and trying to like come up with like
Yes.
things as they go along as a child is questioning them.
Sure.
It just sounds like that.
No,
like,
you're right.
Well, how does Santa get in our house? All the doors are locked. He gets through the chimney because you can't close the chimney.
Right. Well, so they explain that
he gets in
that movie.
But what about the mistletoe? Well, because the mistletoe makes you want to kiss because it brings good luck if you kiss underneath it because the mistletoe fairy or some bullshit. Like,
yeah, they explain. Like they explain why he comes down the chimney, why the stocking, like it's all the stockings, the Christmas tree, like it's all part of it. And I also just like the story, the fact that he's like this young in the movie. He starts off as this young ginger dude. He's this little ginger guy, and it just makes me laugh every time I see the little ginger Santa Claus. And then he marries the hot ginger in town, and then they both get old and fat.
Ginger Claus, like all gingers. No, just kidding.
No, they just don't have soul.
I don't actually know any gingers in my life.
I don't now. I don't think I don't have any gingers in my life right now.
They all have white hair at this point.
Yeah, I can't think of any that I have in my life at this point. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just like, I guess that covers most of my gripes with the Christmas spirit. Like I said, my big thing is just I hate that it's like a reverse purge. That's what really drives me crazy. The decorations and stuff kind of irritate me, but it's like, whatever. I can ignore those.
I saw a video on Instagram last night, and I just kept myself from joining the discourse. A guy, like, he has what looks like a beer in his hand. Can't really tell if it's a beer or a soda.
Okay.
He's standing there, and there's a shitload of presents under the tree.
Okay.
And he went, "Holy shit!" That's my whole paycheck under there.
Yeah.
You got enough presents, and like the family's, all giddy, and people are digging into this guy, like saying, well, he's an alcoholic. What a mean fuck. I'm just like, first of all, you literally just saw him with a beer in his hand. Maybe he's drinking because he's stressed the fuck out that his whole family spent a whole bunch of his money.
But it's just an observation too, right? It's
like,
and
he's being cynical.
True.
But he's being cynical, but do you not understand, like, being cynical is a viable feeling for this time of year? Absolutely. This time of year has the highest suicide rate. Absolutely. And it's not because people have a nasty outlook. It's because of all the things we bitch about when it comes to the season. Lack of money. It's fucking cold. Being lonely. Fucking people being fake nice to one another. And that the paranoia that comes with that. Shut the fuck up with this toxic positivity bullshit.
That just irritates me in general. Whether he's being cynical or not.
Talking shit about people who understand this man's frustration.
But whether he's being cynical,
because I understood his frustration.
Take the emotion out of it. It's still a valid observation. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. A ton
there
of
was a lot of presents. It was an amazing amount of presents.
A lot of fucking money goes under the tree every year, and that's just whether you have. And it doesn't matter whether you have a ton of money and you're rich or you're barely scraping by. Pretty much universally, there's a lot of shit under the tree because the parents that are barely scraping by still feel the need to make sure their kids don't feel left out when all the other kids are getting a shitload of presents, right?
Dude.
So,
tell me how. I know people who don't have money like that, who don't have money like that, going on Facebook and shit, going, so guy, how much do you spend on your family for Christmas? It's like $2,000 too much each kid.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking insane. And I'm talking about people who don't have it like that.
Yeah,
but they feel they have to spend that much money to feel they can express their love to their family.
I know that's
what really bothers me about Christmas.
Yeah, that's a whole nother avenue you just lit up in my brain of, I fucking hate that too.
It's just, my wife has come up to me multiple times this month with people who post that shit. Is spending like $500 good? It's like, spend if it means something to the person I feel like it's good enough.
Yes, agreed.
Like, the thought is partly the thought that counts and partly you paying attention to the needs or wants of the person that you're gifting it to.
I mean, those
part of each one.
Those are the two important things. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. 100% agree with you on that. It's just like, it's crazy how it's crazy that became a thing where we're like, yes, no matter how much money you have to make sure you have put aside or have gone into debt this amount of money to make sure there's this shit under the tree. It's
my wife
painful.
and I do like the system that my wife and I've built now. Based on our budget, we will look at each other and go, how much are we willing to spend on each other?
Mm-hmm.
Openly. Like, okay, if this year, $200 each. Or I think this year was like $500. She's not going to be happy with me for that. I didn't go over it or anything, but since I figured she wanted a lot of certain things, I was playing around with like trying to get at least close to that budget.
Right.
Because you don't have to go past it. It's just that is your limit.
Right. Of course. Yeah. You don't have to go to it. You don't even have to go to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to go online and ask people how much should I spend. Like,
how much will make sure people know I love them.
Yeah, and my kids, I'm sorry, I know my son, he's still learning because he upset my wife once earlier because he's still at that baby phase because he's 5,
right?
Has that or 6. He's at that baby brain stage where he's just like, oh, do I get more presents? Is that enough? Like, it doesn't matter once because. He's still a baby. His brain is not understanding that. So if he gets more presents, that means something. As opposed to just getting a lot of presents.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just presents. It's that like not understanding like lack of spatial recognition. Like, those are presents. Are there more somewhere else? When do the presents end? Is this all of them?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's not like what. That's why it. It's just like, where are more?
No parent can tell me that every gift you gave your kid on Christmas, one singular kid, every gift you gave them, if there were like, let's say 10, that they played and appreciated all 10 of those fucking gifts.
No, not even close. It's usually 1 or 2.
Not even fucking close. They'll pick 1 or 2 that really mean something to them.
And the rest are just like, all right.
They're superfluous.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it is.
Well, that's just human nature.
Because the human brain is incapable of doing. The human brain is incapable of That's why rich people always want more because they can never have enough. No. It's too much.
Well, it's literally, like you said, it's just how your brain works. You've got 10 things in front of you. You gravitate towards the one that's most appealing, and that's what you're going to stick with. It's just the way it works.
Yep. Again, it's the resurrection of the blowjob fairy. It's just that is how the human brain works.
Yes. Oh, the blowjob fairy.
Children, children less.
We haven't made a shirt for that. We got to make a shirt for the blowjob fairy.
Oh my god.
The problem is I need to run it through AI to come up with ideas, and it's gonna not like that.
It's gonna yeah.
I'll come up with a very weird way of phrasing that.
Oh, I would hate you if you actually succeeded.
I'll figure it out. I challenge accepted. Yeah, we got to end the episode because we both need to get off and I think get our children because they'll be waiting for us if we're not.
We have to be responsible parents.
So that's the episode, guys. I'm not gonna go crazy. Go visit the website.
We have that,
now, buddy.
ATIWIHY.com.
Go check that out. Send us a mail, leave us a voicemail, all that good stuff. Everybody, in case we don't have another episode, well, we won't have another episode before the holiday because we won't. The holiday is on Monday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. But you know what? We'll go into detail. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck you celebrate. Enjoy it. If you don't celebrate anything, enjoy the time off.
And just enjoy your time. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy the time with your loved ones. Enjoy the time with your kids. As much as I just talked about how fucking stupid it is that we have to have this time of year to do so, you get some time off, hopefully.
At least the corporations recognize it enough for you to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
So you do that.
Tell everybody that you love them. And we love you. Thanks for listening, guys.
I only have one more question before. You bastard.
Oh, I stopped it. Go ahead.
You bastard. I have one question before we go.
Okay.
Is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? That's for you to discuss. I don't want an answer from you. I don't give a shit about your opinion.
Well,
this is for people listening.
The question I'm going to answer. You got to be like, don't answer this. Here's the question. But it's a fucking Halloween movie. I mean, it's scary. scary shit happens.
It's a Christmas movie. It's scary.
No, fuck you.
It's...